It has never been more clear in the direction the Vancouver Canucks are heading as we get a major trade report revolving around star forward Matthew Barzal, linking him to the Vancouver Canucks as the perfect fit by an NHL insider as the Vancouver Canucks continue to try to get back into contention heading into not only tonight's draft but next season. We're going to break down all the linkings of Matthew Barzal to the Vancouver Canucks, how this is the perfect fit, and how Patrik Allvin has made it very clear in the direction he's going just days after acquiring Evander Kane. We're going to break down all this and more on this episode of Canucks Digest, so you're not going to want to miss it. Before we get into it, go down and hit that free subscribe button. We have so much news coming out going into the draft tonight, July 1st free agency. You're not going to want to miss it. It's completely free and it helps us out a ton. But with that, let's just get straight into this report today, where we got a report from David Pagnotta of the fourth period. And he says Islanders remain active. In addition to all their action, I'm told some teams have called on Matthew Barzal, including the Utah Mammoth and the Vancouver Canucks. Don't get the sense anything is close right now, but some clubs have inquired. Now we know the Canucks' biggest problem is filling out the void on the second line center. Matthew Barzal could debatably be your number one center. We know at the very moment the Islanders are looking to sell. They're looking to get futures on this team. Just an hour ago, we've seen them move on from star defenseman Noah Dobson to the Montreal Canadiens for not one but two first-round picks. But we don't care about the Habs. We care about the direction the Islanders are going in, and it seems like a fire sale. Now, Barzal is the perfect piece. We know Barzal has been linked to the Canucks before. He is from BC. Barzal could come in and fix everything the Canucks need on this team, and it really pushes them back into this contending window where you have PD looking for a bounce back and Barzal coming in as the second best center in the NHL when it comes to this team. Now, looking at Barzal, a prolific playmaker, going out and putting up 80 points last season. This year dealt with injuries, still putting up 20 points. Barzal is basically a point per game, 20 goal scorer. We've seen his rookie season putting up 85 points. The Islanders were very bad, almost, I think it was the second worst at 13% on the power play. Most of Barzal's stats have came 5-on-5. So adding them to a Canucks team that has a better power play, going into a new era of this team with Evander Kane, PD looking to get back the young guys in Willander, Lekkerimaki, Mancini. This is a very big turning point for the Canucks, and they need to be active on this team as they're looking to sell off their assets to get futures, and the Canucks have that exactly. Now, before we get into a trade package that could go down, or how this does and doesn't make sense, going farther in, we know the Vancouver Canucks currently have $7 million in cap space. They just acquired the full contract of Evander Kane, just over $5 million, so they need to do some work with this. Barzal coming in is extended for 5 more years on his contract. We're in year 3 of 8 on this current deal. If the Canucks go out to acquire this, they need to do something. They cannot acquire the full $9 million with only $7 million projected. You can send a couple of guys down. You have key free agents in Brock Boeser and Suter that seem like they're either on the verge of coming back or gone for good. But with the Canucks, if you lose out on Brock Boeser, if you're going into tonight's draft, you make a final offer and he says no, you can work around this contract. With the Canucks filling in that center spot, and I think this is where we could see Hedl being the odd man out, maybe a guy, and don't hate me Canucks fans, because I love Dakota Joshua myself, but maybe there is a guy in this middle six that you move on from to make this a more competitive team. Looking at Höglander, Pettersson, and Garland, Jake DeBrusk, Barzal, and Kane is the legitimate top 6 that can compete in the Stanley Cup playoffs. We've seen what Kane can do. As much as I hate him as a person, he is someone that shows up in big moments. We've seen Pettersson during his playoff runs. He can still perform when he gets back. This would be a legitimate top 6. The Canucks could roster, make the push, and it still helps with the future as Barzal is still very young. Looking through, 28 years old, only in the league since 2016. I do think the Vancouver Canucks have to be active with this. As I said, they've already made moves. Noah Dobson was traded for 2 picks, 16 and 17, directly behind the Canucks. If the Canucks want to come out with the package, they can do this as well. Now, there is some implications with this. One of the insiders or writers for the New York Islanders did say previously reported that GM Darsh told Matthew Barzal and Horvat they were not getting moved. I know Vancouver has wanted Barzal, the BC native, forever, would be stunned if he gets traded. Stunned. But with the friction picking up, with this team looking to move on from it, it does seem like teams are actively looking at it. Now, yes, the Mammoth is concerning. We know what the Islanders want to do. They want to trade up for their Long Island boy in Higgins, and they need to get into the top 10. Getting pick 15, 16, and 17, you can move these to get into a top 10 pick. You can still get Higgins. You would still have to attach assets, but Utah does have pick number 4. So if you're comfortable taking Higgins at 4, if Utah comes out to offer straight pick number 4, it's going to get hard for the Canucks to counter this, to go out to make an offer when you have 15 on the table compared to pick 4. Looking at prospects, the Canucks are in a better situation in my point. You can move on from guys, and I love these prospects. A lot of these guys just won a Calder Cup with the Abbotsford Canucks. There's a lot of names on this list that is very intriguing for a team looking to rebuild in the New York Islanders and just going through. Jonathan Leckemack can add goal scoring to the team, and I'm not selling these guys shorts because I still love them. Tom Willander just signed with the Vancouver Canucks. Maybe the Islanders are looking for a Dobson replacement. Yes, you're going to bring in Matthew Schaefer. Who cares at that point? You can add a 1-2 punch on that right side with him as well. There's a lot of guys you can attach with this pick that not only helps the Islanders get back into a race at some point, but helps the Vancouver Canucks tip the edge on a team like the Utah Hockey Club, which is going to be very hard to compete with going into it, and it goes back onto the defense. We know how good the Canucks are on defense right now. Quinn Hughes, Hronek, Tyler Myers, Pettersson, Mancini, Willander. There's so many guys, including Forbert, the Canucks have, that I think this is the point of the year, the point of going into the offseason, that you can start to unload these guys if it's for the value of Matthew Barzal. As I said, replacing this in your lineup is very hard. Getting this in your lineup makes a huge difference, but overall, Canucks fans, this is the part of the year where the Canucks need to do something drastic. We know Patrik Allvin has already took a step in the right direction to get a Vander Kane. A lot of people hate this trade. You're taking a high risk, high reward on a Vander Kane. But with Matthew Barzal, yes, you have to strip the cupboard, but this gets you back into contention to keep Quinn Hughes. You look at Quinn Hughes going into next season and you say, I got you a new center, I got you a new winger. We're getting this back to competitiveness, and you're going to see a change in this team, and you're doing everything you can to keep Quinn Hughes on this roster. And that's, at the end of the day, what the Canucks want to do, what everyone wants to do, us fans included. What is your guys' thoughts on this? What is your thoughts as Matthew Barzal has been linked to the Vancouver Canucks? Yes, it's going to be hard. Utah teams are going to be calling. But with the Islanders actively looking at getting worse, the Canucks are in the perfect spot to get back into the playoffs with this deal. There's going to be so much of coverage, so you guys are going to want to keep up to date with all this. What would you guys' thoughts on this? Go down and leave a comment down below. While you're down there, leave a like, subscribe, share this with your friends. We'll be back in another episode. We're going to be back with a lot of draft content and July 1st, so keep your eye out for that. But I've been your host, Mark. Bye, and take care, Canucks fans.